Today we are going to be ranking the greatest chins in MMA history. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. So, Tapology had a rankings for, or like a list of rankings for the greatest chins in MMA. This is where I grabbed it from. It's not just who I think, but we're going to be taking that list and ranking them for this video, okay? We got SS all the way to C tier. C tier still means that they have a good chin. It's just not the greatest in MMA history, okay? Let's start with Nate Diaz. And it's important to note, like, Nate ended up getting finished. He's been finished one time, so kind of knocks him down a little bit. But then again, I think about the shots that Nate takes. He took shots from prime Conor McGregor. He took that wild head kick from Jorge Masvidal. That would have put away a lot of people. The dude's taken some great shots, and I'm going to start Nate Diaz off into the S tier. Not quite SS tier, and I don't know if I'm going to move him down at all, but we'll continue on, okay? Diego Sanchez. I think it's a solid C tier. He has a good chin, but I think he took a lot of shots. It's just I think that there are people with better chins out there, okay? Brandon Moreno, unfortunately, suffers from being in flyweight. There aren't exactly a ton of knockouts all of the time, but Brandon Moreno's been cranked by a lot of really tough guys. I'm going to put Brandon Moreno into the C tier as well. I'm going to put him right behind Diego Sanchez. Again, it's the flyweight problem. I think it's the flyweight problem with that, okay? Brian Ortega. Now, can this dude take a punch? You know, I think about that Diego Lopez fight and how bad he got cranked there. Volkanovski was destroying him. Max Holloway was destroying him. But those aren't really guys that have, like, ridiculous power out there, I would say. 155 Max Holloway. Could you imagine teeing off on Brian Ortega the way that he did? The only thing I can think about really is that Diego Lopez fight. I know he's taking shots from Yair too, but how many people does Yair really finish? That's a toughie. Diego Lopez knocked him out and woke him back up. So I'm also going to, I'm going to throw Brian Ortega in the B tier. The dude can eat a ton of shots. Now, Carlos Condit, though. This dude fought some absolute killers, and he has a chin. One of the most underrated chins in MMA. I can't even think about this dude getting rocked. Man, Carlos Condit, he's going to go into the S tier in front of Nate Diaz. Great, great chin. Korean Zombie. He's been finished before. We're going to put him in the C tier. We're going to put him right behind Diego Lopez, okay? Clay Guida. Clay Guida has a pretty sneaky good chin. He's fought some hard hitters too. And he doesn't get affected. That's the biggest thing, right? We're going to throw him into the A tier. Clay Guida has a pretty good chin, okay? Daniel Cormier faced some of the biggest guys of all time. He's been knocked out one time against John Jones, but then again, John Jones was on PEDs, so can we really count that? That's the thing. I don't know, but at the end of the day, he did get knocked out. The amount of guys that Daniel Cormier has taken on and 8 giant shots from is astronomical. I think I want to put him into the SS. All of the guys that he's fought, he's eating shots from Rumble Johnson and not got knocked out. Yeah, what am I saying? SS tier for Daniel Cormier, okay? Dan Hooker. Besides that one weird situation with Michael Chandler that has aged oddly as well, it's like you hit this dude and he just walks forward like a zombie. But the thing is with Dan Hooker, the shots clearly affect him. It's not like a Daniel Cormier who will walk through a lot of shots, or a Carlos Condit who will walk through a lot of shots. Dan Hooker gets affected by shots, but he survives them. So I would say his chin's okay. I'm going to put Dan Hooker into the B tier, okay? Big Country. Big Country has a good chin. Been hit by some massive guys. Yeah, I think he's okay. I'm going to put him in the S tier. Low S tier, though, okay? Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has been finished before. Prime Dustin Poirier is a different story. But Dustin Poirier, he's been affected by shots too. He's had his fair share of big rockings. I'm thinking like Conor McGregor. I'm thinking about Eddie Alvarez. Dustin Poirier is going to go into the C tier. I'm going to put him at the top of C tier. Okay, Fedor. Another guy who has been finished before, but he's been hit by some really big guys. We're going to throw Fedor into the B tier. I'm going to put him right ahead of Brian Ortega. Tony Ferguson. This dude has a chin. It finally got cracked with Michael Chandler, but before that, the dude has fought some absolute animals, some absolute killers. And he's walking, but it's not like he's just eating shots. He's walking through the shots and coming at you and smiling at you in the corner and laughing at you. Tony Ferguson had a great chin. Again, unfortunately with age, things changed a little bit, right? He can't take the same amount of shots, but the Tony Ferguson, I'm going to put him to the S tier. I'm going to put him ahead of Nate Diaz, okay? Francis Ngannou. He's never really eaten a proper punch. Besides, like, I know Stipe was, the most of the times when Stipe punched him, Stipe was also tired, didn't have that same sting. He ate, like, all I can think about, man, is him eating one clean shot from Stipe while he's pursuing him. Like, before he ended up knocking out Stipe, Stipe landed across, and, like, that backed him up a little bit, but that was also the momentum working against Francis Ngannou and a fresh Stipe. So I think there's still questions about Francis Ngannou. But he's eaten some good shots, but it's like I've never really seen him get cleaned. Like, you know? I've never watched like, ooh, Francis just ate that. I'm going to put him in the B tier for that reason. I'm going to put him right behind Dan Hooker, okay? Frankie Edgar. Yeah, Frankie had a good chin, man. Frankie's fought a lot of great guys, went through a lot of great wars. We're going to put him in the A tier. Benson Henderson. I can't think of Benson Henderson being finished in the UFC. Was he even? Well, I know it like submitted, but if he got knocked out, it's escaping my memory. The dude also fought some really, really tough guys, some really, really hard hitters. I'm going to put him in the A tier, right ahead of Clay Guido. Okay, Dan Henderson. Dude, the guy has gone up and down in a bunch of weight classes and ate some massive shots. He ate shots from Daniel Cormier, too, in his old age. And that carried throughout his entire career, dude. And the wars he went through with Shogun, Dan Henderson has an excellent chin. We're going to put him right behind Carlos Condit, okay? Mark Hunt. He's been finished, but for the most part, he's a pretty stationary heavyweight. Fought a lot of guys on PEDs and really gotten cranked a bunch of times and kind of just walked forward and did what Mark Hunt did. Guys, I'm going to put Mark Hunt in the SS tier. I know we've seen him knocked out, but the amount of guys and hard hitters and massive men that he's faced and not gotten knocked out from and eaten a lot of shots, I'm putting him behind Daniel Cormier. Mark Hunt has an excellent chin, okay? Anderson Silva. We've seen him chin before, but he's also fought a lot of really hard-hitting guys, but he was also outsizing a lot of the guys. I think Anderson has a good chin. It's one of the best chins. Like, these are, obviously, guys, we're ranking the best chins in MMA, so when people are in the C tier, they still have really, really, really good chins. I'm going to put Anderson Silva. I'm going to put him in the A tier, right behind Benson Henderson. That's going to bother me. I'm going to look up Benson Henderson and see if he's ever been finished. Benson Henderson. Excuse me for a second. I probably should just do a little cut, but hang on. Let's see. Has he ever been finished by punches? So he's been knocked out by Rafael dos Anjos in 2014, and for some reason, I do not remember that. And I was watching UFC in 2014. I started watching UFC regularly after GSP versus Condit. Yeah, it would have been 2014 for sure. Yeah. Why don't I remember that fight? Huh. Weird. Michael Chandler also stopped him too, but weird. I don't remember that for some reason. Now, John Jones. John Jones has fought a lot of great hitters. John Jones has fought a lot of really, really hard-hitting guys. The real hardest-hitting 155ers, the real hardest-hitting 205ers out there. He's eaten shots from Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson, and the thing is, John Jones, besides like a couple moments here and there with Dominic Reyes, who also has excellent power, he's never been rocked. He's never actually been like in trouble rocked. John Jones has a great chin. I'm going to put him behind Mark Hunt and Daniel Cormier, though. And I know that might be weird because we've seen them finished, but I think it's the competition level of the ones that these two faced over here, okay? Islam Makhachev, great chin. Eating shots from a lot of guys in that lightweight division. I would argue that Habib has a better chin than Islam because sometimes, like, Islam kind of backs up and you see him get stung by some shots. Kind of like I was talking about with Dan Hooker, honestly. He survives these shots, but they clearly affect him sometimes. So I'm going to put Islam Makhachev. He just also doesn't get hit that often, but he's also faced a lot of really good guys. A tier. I think he's better than Dan Hooker, okay? Chin-wise. I'm going to put him in front of Benson Henderson, okay? Rampage Jackson. This dude also had a chin on him, and he's faced a lot of insanely hard-hitting guys. You have to go like all the way back to the Pride days with the exception of like maybe one fight to find Rampage Jackson getting finished. 205 or 2. Fought some really, really big guys. I'm going to put him into the S tier. Ooh. I'm going to put him right in front of Nate Diaz, okay? John Lineker, dude, underrated chin. I'm watching, guys, if you ever watch John Lineker do his thing in one right now, the shots that he takes and walks forward and lands the bombs that he does, oh my God. I think he's one of the most underrated chins in MMA history. Plus, he fought in the toughest division in UFC history, in MMA combat sports history, and survived there too. John Lineker had an excellent chin. I'm putting him into the S tier. Ooh, where do I want to throw him with these guys, eh? I'm going to put him... Guys, I'm actually going to put John Lineker ahead of Carlos Condit. Excellent chin. Jorge Masvidal. We've seen him knocked out, but he's also taken some shots from some big guys. I think he has a really good chin, Jorge Masvidal. The Kamaru Usman was just a weird one, because there are a lot of times, too, where Jorge gets cranked and he's kind of laughing at you like Tony Ferguson. I'm going to put Jorge Masvidal into the A tier. I'm actually going to put him ahead of Islam Makhachev, okay? Junior Dos Santos. Another one of those heavyweights that fought insanely powerful guys, but Junior's also been finished his fair share of times. You know, his chin ended up getting cracked and it wasn't the same. So I'm going to put Junior into the C tier and bottom of C tier, okay? Justin Gaethje. Also a guy with a really good chin, but like I was talking about Dan Hooker, like I was talking about Islam Makhachev, there are shots that Justin Gaethje takes where it clearly rocks him, it clearly affects him, and I know we have seen Justin Gaethje finish before as well. It's just he's also taken a lot of really good shots, okay? I'm going to put Justin Gaethje. You know what? Oh, man. I'm going to put him ahead of JDS, okay? No, I'm going to put him in the C tier. I know I'm going to hear about that one, guys. I know I am. Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, besides the head kick KO with Leon Edwards, he's fought, and he could have a better competition level when it comes to power that he's faced. So I'm going to knock him for that, but he walked forward so many times like an absolute Terminator. Threw a lot of shots. I'm going to put Kamaru Usman into the A tier. I'm going to put him right behind Jorge Masvidal. Yeah, that's what I think it's a good shot. Now, Khabib. Dude, Khabib eats shots and walks through them like he didn't even get hit. He's never been rocked in the octagon before. He took shots from Prime McGregor. He took shots from Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. He's fought some insanely hard-hitting guys. Michael Johnson, too, and Michael Johnson can crack. Khabib has one of the best chins ever. I'm going to put him into the SS tier. Ooh, where do I want to put him? Yeah, I'm going to put him there because these guys have fought the heavier guys. Okay, Chris Lieben. Again, one of those guys that's... he's so hard to finish, but we've seen him rocked a lot of times. Okay? He's a survivor, I will say that. We're going to put Chris Lieben into the B tier ahead of Dan... Oh, excuse me, into the B tier ahead of Dan Hooker. Now there's a couple guys, dude. They're right next to each other. These are a couple guys that I wanted to talk about. Yoel Romero. Okay, when I made this tier list, guys, I had these two specifically in mind, along with Daniel Cormier, actually. Oh, I don't know. You have to start looking at their competition level. Dude, it's two of the greatest chins in MMA history. I'm just going to put them both into the SS tier. Two of the greatest chins. They could stand out. They could be an SS tier alone and drop everybody else below. You know what? I'm going to do that. I don't know how people are going to feel about that, but I'm going to do that because they stand out on their own so much that I think it's almost proper. Let me make myself a little bit smaller over here. Maybe I'll go to the bottom. How's that sound? Yeah. They stand out so much from the other people on this list that I think they need their own tier. I didn't plan on doing that, honestly. But who's better, Marvin Vettori or Yoel Romero? I think Yoel. But man, they're both so good because on occasion, Marvin will like stumble, but he'll be perfectly fine. He'll walk through. You can hit these guys with hammers and they'll just walk through it like it's nothing. Yoel will laugh at you. Marvin will just go. Like, I can't believe the shots that these two have taken through their career and just walk forward like it's nothing. And the longevity of their chins, too. Yoel Romero is still fighting. Their chin's on another level, man. And Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has been finished. What can I say? Dustin Poirier knocked him out, but he's taken his fair share of really good shots. He's been stunned on occasion. I'm going to put him into the... The thing is, McGregor doesn't really get hit that clean. But Nate rocked him. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Top of B tier, okay? Michael Bisping. He has a good chin. Very good chin. He's been finished, though. He's another B tier. I'm actually going to put him... Ooh. I'm actually going to put him right ahead of McGregor. I think it's a fair statement now. Nick Diaz. Nick has a better chin than Nate. Nick has fought a lot of really, really, really hard-hitting guys out there. And Nick is one of those guys where you crank him. You'll spin his chin across it, like... He'll spin his chin across a room, and he'll be like... What? You know? S tier chin for sure. For sure. I'm going to put him in front of Khabib. Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him. Okay? Paul Felder. Also very good chin. Very good chin. He's been through a lot of wars against some really, really, really tough guys. I'm going to put him at the top of A tier and head of Jorge Masvidal. Now, BJ Penn. He's been finished so many times. C tier for BJ Penn. Okay? Robbie Lawler. Ooh, this is a good one. Robbie Lawler's only been knocked out by Wood. Unless we're talking about earlier in his career. I'd have to really sit back and think about it. But Robbie Lawler, he ate that shot from Woodley. But that was a long time coming. with the wars and the battles and the shots that he's been through and survived and thrived from them, he's going to go into the S tier as well. I'm going to put Robbie Lawler. I'm going to put him. This is tough, man. I'm going to put him right ahead of John Lineker, okay? We're separating the S tier. Big Country going down a little bit. Now Shogun. Shogun lost his chin. Different guy in his prime. But Shogun is going to go right ahead of BJ Penman, okay? Cheeto. Ooh. I wasn't thinking about Cheeto. I wasn't thinking about Gastelum either. Cheeto might be an SS tier. Yeah. There are a lot of really hard hitters at 135. He is in the toughest division in combat sports history, and he's taken insane shots, and not look fazed by them. No, I'm not going to put him in the SS tier. I can't. But he seems like you can never spin his chin around. Like that knee he took from O'Malley, he's fought some insanely hard-hitting dudes, and I'm kind of convincing myself, too, that it's just the dealing with the punches from Rumble for Daniel Cormier that's, like, selling me. Because Rumble has, like, that life-changing power. I'm going to put him right behind Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier fought bigger guys, okay? Kelvin Gastelum. A little bit more of the same. When do you ever see this guy get, like, rocked? You don't. And he's completely washed now, and still, you can't knock him out. He's eating shots from Joe Pyfer. Kelvin Gastelum, a little bit more of the same. I'm going to put him right there with Cormier and with Cheeto. But I'm going to, and I don't know if this is a hot take. Guys. I'm going to put him ahead of Daniel. I'm going to put him ahead of, no, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm putting him right behind Daniel Cormier. The heavyweight guys that Daniel Cormier has fought are infinitely more powerful than anybody that Kelvin or Cheeto have fought, okay? Chael Sonnen. Chael had a very good chin. He just had a heart issue. So you'd crank Chael. He can take it, but then he quits. So I still do think that Chael has a good chin because you never see Chael rocked. You never see him, dazed and, like, stumbling around. He just gets hit and it's like, that's enough for me. I made my money. So Chael actually had a very good chin because he never really does get rocked. Chael's going to go into the A tier. I'm going to put him ahead of Jorge. Chael had a good chin, guys. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, okay? George St. Pierre. He ate a lot of shots in his day. A lot of shots from a lot of really good guys. He's one of those guys that has a good chin. We're going to put him in the A tier. We're going to put him... Actually, I'm going to put him ahead of Paul Felder. Okay? And Uriah Faber. The competition level could be better for Uriah Faber, but, like, I'm thinking about, yeah, you know what? He didn't really take those Piotr Jan shots all that well. We're going to put him in the C tier. He could have fought better competition. We're going to put him at the top of C tier, okay? Right ahead of Dustin Poirier. Now, Vicente Luque, unfortunately, that chin isn't the same, but he had a chin back in the day. So Vicente Luque is going to go down to right behind Brandon Moreno. And I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this. This has been the official chin tier list for MMA. You all remember Marvin Vettori sitting at the SS tier, with BJ Penn being the worst of the best, and I don't know why he was on the list of the best chins of all time. Let me know what you thought down below. Thank you so much for watching, and check out this other tier list video that we did. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.